Like you, I probably do more online meetings than in-person meetings when it comes to important negotiations. So whilst in the past I would be flying to London or Italy or the US for a negotiation, or people flying here out to Dubai, we tend to do more online meetings and more online negotiations because it's cost effective and we've learned how to do it and we have the great tools to do it. However, does that mean it actually makes it easier? I'm not so sure. Because if you know about remote healing and you can be healed remotely, that means your emotions can pass through even on video. I find it a similar situation in my negotiations. I can feel the anxiety, I can feel the anger, and I can feel sort of the anxiousness of people sometimes when we are negotiating, and probably they can feel my energy as well. Now, our bodies react very much and very quickly to emotions sent to us and energy sent to us, and we go into what we call a fight or flight mode. So anger makes us fight, anxiety gets us into a flight mode, which is our defense mechanism as human beings, right? So you simply cannot ignore the human element to any sort of negotiation. Now, my tips for this are really to train, practice, and rehearse before you get on an online call or a video call, because sometimes that helps you in terms of your mindset and your preparation. I've also found that raising your voice, being super angry and being super angsty doesn't always get you the results. Sometimes it might put the other person on the back foot and they're happy to acquiesce and agree to your points just to simply get you to stop shouting at them. But overall, it does deplete the trust and the likeness that you might have for the person. So I might end up in a situation where I'm negotiating a joint venture with a partner who's constantly screaming at me and may get their way in the joint venture agreement, but it's not created a very good foundation for our relationship, because my body remembers this and remembers the emotions I felt, and there is some level of distrust associated with this. I was in an online negotiation recently with a very strong counterparty, in the sense they were obviously driving the process and driving the negotiation and the documents for the matter I was dealing with, and it was a hospitality transaction, and it was a mix of the commercial and legal people. So the commercial people obviously were very senior and had a big say in it. And one of them would simply constantly cut us off and constantly say that nothing we said was acceptable and nothing we said was going to be entertained. Now, obviously, we walked away from that negotiation feeling that it wasn't truthful, because the truth is that there were many practical matters that needed to be dealt with in the agreements. So even though if we had not won the indemnity point or a cap on liability point or something like that, something super legal, we did have a lot of practical and commercial points that the counterparty, the hospitality company, would have had to accept. So we walked away thinking that this was unproductive, and there was that slight feeling of mistrust that developed during that negotiation. Of course, we would overcome it, and of course, we will be super positive and productive about it. But the fact remains that emotions do transfer via video. There are many decisions we make via video these days, and it's important to treat that process with the same integrity and respect as you would if a person was sitting opposite you in the same room.